This is the way.
Yeah, mic check 1, 2. They see me rolling, they hating, patrolling, they trying to kiss me. Rum and nerdy, rum and nerdy, kiss me. Rum and nerdy, kiss me. Rum and nerdy, kiss me. Rum and nerdy. Not taking the hobbits to Isengard. Not taking the hobbits to Isengard.
Whenever I'm about to do something, I think, would an idiot do that? And if they would, I do not do that thing.
You wanna play? I'll play. Rum and nerdy, rum and nerdy, rum and nerdy, rum and nerdy, rum and nerdy. This is the way. Ready program. Let's go.
Hey everybody, I'm Greg.
And I'm Garrick.
And this is Rum and Nerdy! That was fun.
Yeah, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, one and done. Welcome everybody to Rum and Nerdy. This is season 1, episode 1.
The one where we started?
Yeah, the one. Remember the one where we started doing the podcast about rum and nerdy? So we're going to spend a lot of time talking about rum and drinking rum while we're recording. Right now we're drinking Bumbu. Fully in this.
It's one of our go-tos. For those of you familiar with our work.
Yeah, it's the Campbell soup of rum. It's good. So other than that, we're going to talk about a lot of nerdy things. So movies, theme parks, television shows, just general nerd culture, video games, board games, you name it. If it's kind of nerdy, we're gonna discuss it at some point.
If it's something you can waste money on, odds are we'll devote some time to that topic.
Yeah. Speaking of wasting, like Lego, that's something I waste a lot of money on.
Yeah, there you go. Lego, collectible figures, special edition, DVDs imported.
Yeah.
Japanese subtitles.
Or like for some reason this Mandalorian and Grogu Pez dispenser I got for Christmas.
Yeah, I kind of gave up on the Pez dispensers. I mean, I received them a lot as gifts, and it just I have to draw the line somewhere on the amount of crap I collect.
I agree, definitely, but it's kind of funny because the only other Pez dispensers that I have are the from the West Coast, or not West Coast, Orange County Choppers, the motorcycle builder guys that do the theme bikes.
They had themed Pez dispensers?
Yeah, that look like the three guys. It's Mikey and Senior and Junior.
Wow. Can you recreate that meme with Senior and Junior throwing the chair?
Probably. I've just never opened
with
the
Pez
thing.
Dispensers?
It's in a tin with a
So it's a collector
window.
Pez dispenser tin?
Yeah, and I never opened it.
It sounds like you should eBay that right now.
You know what? Before they are completely and utterly obscure.
Well, yeah. But before you put on your mask, pick up your machete, and hike your way through the wasteland, you might as well see if you can get some money for this stuff.
That's true, because money is going to be needed in the future wasteland.
After the collapse. Well, you could use the money to buy, I don't know, gasoline and weapons.
You know what? And that brings up something I wanted to talk about. Talk about nerdy and random shit, the kind of stuff we're going to talk about. So I was watching TikTok last night.
It's great.
And it's funny because right before we were recording, you were talking about how in the future you want to just tell everybody to not get you anything for Christmas. You want to have them ahead of time buy something and put it in Toys for Tots kind of thing.
Yeah, basically, I want to figure out a way to start a movement where you celebrate the giving of gifts early, and it's got to be a week or two early. And basically, you just buy toys to donate to charities that give toys to little kids for Christmas time.
Okay.
Because as much as I enjoy opening up boxes and receiving things as an adult, I don't need anything, and I think all of that time and money would be better spent getting gifts for little kids.
Then I'm going to tell you what you're not getting for Christmas that I already started shopping for.
Oh, Jesus!
For next Christmas, we just passed Christmas 2020, so
yeah, we're a little late on the Christmas episode.
So I'm watching TikTok last night, and there's this guy who is opening various types of MREs, military meals, in package.
Meals ready to eat.
Yeah, this is a regular can opener, just like a soup can size can, completely white label, and all it says on it is bacon. So he opens it up, and it took him a while to get it out because it was wrapped in paper. but it was a spiraled up paper filled with 48 strips of cooked bacon.
Seriously?
And so I'm like, that's it. Next Christmas,
Battlefront bacon.
Garrick is getting a can of bacon. And realistically, I was going to get you two, one that you could open and experience and one that you could keep to say that you had a can of bacon.
Yeah, I would probably clean it out, refill it, and just display the empty can, hot glued shut or something, be like, can of bacon.
Yeah, but in case of the collapse, you would be able to save bacon for whatever the thing that you celebrate after the collapse of civilization.
Being strapped to the lead Marauders nitro truck.
Yeah. This is exactly... Can you open this can for me and just let me snack on this bacon as I die?
Yeah, it ended up being a lot like that, was it Looney Tunes episode with Sylvester where he had the can of tuna, but he couldn't get the can opener? He couldn't find a can opener, and the mouse kept stealing it from him?
I don't remember that.
Oh. Looney Tunes.
Looney Tunes. There you go. Episode 1, and we've already degraded and fallen down the hole to where we are referencing Looney Tunes.
That's fine. There's nothing wrong with Looney Tunes.
No.
I mean,
it's not as good as, say, the Warner Brothers.
As an American, that's the only way I've been introduced to classical music.
Oh, you know Wagner? Yeah, from Looney Tunes.
Yeah, you weren't going to be introduced to the Barber of Seville in any other way.
Yeah, well. You could have been introduced to Gustav Holst from L. Ron Hubbard commercials from the 80s and 90s.
Dianetics. Learn it. Read it. Use it. Or however that stupid Volcano commercial went.
It went something like this.
Dianetics. Get it, read it, use it, and learn how to free your full potential. Dianetics. Get your copy now, wherever paperbacks are sold.
We at Rum and Nerdy do not support the peddling of bullshit, but we do support the playing of vintage television commercials peddling bullshit. This bullshit is brought to you by YouTube, where most bullshit can be found.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
See, that was fun.
Yeah. Of course, I think you used to hear those Saturday mornings, like right after a commercial for Prodigy or that video game Burn Cycle. That was all the rage.
Yeah.
Do you remember Burn Cycle?
Not really.
No.
Oh, wait. No, it's starting to come back to me. What game? Was that Atari?
No. Well, I mean, I had it for the computer. It was CD-ROM back when they'd advertise video games as being on CD-ROM, so you didn't have to load a half dozen floppy disks.
Yeah, I didn't have my first computer until well after I moved out of my parents' house. They just never were interested in that. Although, funny story, years later, my dad was all proud of the fact that he bought a computer from somebody because he had retired and opened a bar. And he used to buy the most random shit from people that would come in and, oh, yeah, I'm selling this thing. And he was like really, really excited about having only spent $150 for this top-of-the-line computer. And this would have been around 94.
So this is back when top-of-the-line computers had a turbo button.
Yeah.
Because for some reason there were times when you needed your computer to run slower so you could disengage turbo.
Yeah. So you're going to laugh even more.
No good.
This computer was pre-Windows. You have the 3.5-inch discs. Then you have the 5 1/4 floppies.
Yeah.
They were like
the 10-inch ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were huge.
I have a box of those somewhere because I'm
why
a
not?
pack rat now.
Yeah. Because why not? It's called hoarding.
Yeah,
Well,
but
he's
it's vintage.
You know the street value of these one day?
It's not hoarding if it's vintage.
There you go. Well, he spent $150 on this top-of-the-line computer that didn't even do word processing because you had to have the disk software to put it in to do the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And of course that if it had a printer, it would have been one of those dot matrix. You have to rip the little perforated side things off.
Oh yeah, I love those things.
The things our kids will never know.
After you printed out a report, you'd have to separate the pages, and then rip off the what were those called? Like the spool edges?
Yeah, that's officially what they're called.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought I just made that up. Okay,
No, I
perfect.
just Googled it.
The spool,
I didn't really Google
spool
it.
edges, yeah.
The spool edges. So, like we said, welcome to the show where we drink and talk about nerdy things, and you'll like it.
Bored yet? It's all downhill from here.
This is officially the best we can do. Okay. Well, we mentioned we're drinking Bumbu, although, speaking again of Christmas, my Christmas gift from my friend Garrick here was a bottle of rum. One that I have not had before. This is Cruisin', but it's Cruisin' Estate Diamond Black Strap rum. And although I've had a Black Strap rum, I've never had this particular one.
And in general, I'm a fan of the Cruisin' lineup.
Yep.
I don't know if I've had anything of theirs that's been objectionable.
It's a good middle of the line rum that's not terribly expensive. They do have a couple that are higher end, and they've got some that are rum and Coke swill. But let's speaking of rum, we'll introduce Central Florida Rum Council is an organization from Orlando, Florida area. Although we have members that are literally all over the planet, and members and contributors all over the planet. So they have been nice enough to come in and do some public service announcements for us. Let's hear one real fast. When we come back, we'll officially do the refill where we talk about this rum.
Our first refill.
Fantastic. We'll be right back.
How many of you people out there been hurt in some kind of love affair? And how many times do you swear that you never love again? How many lonely sleepless nights? How many lies? How many fights? And why would you want to put yourself through all of that again? Love is pain, I hear you say. Love is a cruel and bitter way of paying you back for all the faith you ever had in your brain. Or could it be that what you need the most can leave you feeling just like a ghost? You never want to feel so sad and lost again. One day you could be looking through an old book in rainy weather. You see a picture of her smiling at you when you were still together.
And now for a Central Florida Rum Council public service announcement. Remember, day drinking at home is still safer than COVID-19.
So we turn the clock to zero, honey. I'll sell the stock. We'll spend all the money. We're starting up a brand new day. Turn the clock on the way back. I wonder if she'll take me back. I'm thinking in a brand new way.
All right, welcome back to the refill. Today we're having Cruisin' Black Strap. Do you know what makes it a black strap?
You know what? I don't. As I'm holding the bottle, I don't. Tell me, Jill.
Tell you what the who?
I don't know.
So black strap typically is made of black molasses, which gives it its dark color. However, during the distilling process, generally it lightens up. So they often add caramel coloring and to darken it up after. Black strap is a way to get a really sweet, more blended flavor with a relatively young rum.
Okay.
So it's a way to cheat. Make okay rum fast. Ooh. Nice vintage.
Oh, wow. That has a delightful nose.
Yeah? What's it smell like?
Very, very caramely. It almost smells, molassesy. I mean, it.
It's almost like I described.
Yeah. That's nice.
How much are you pouring over there? Glug, 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 glug.
Just, it sounded really nice.
Yep. But you note like the nose on it is very, very different. You definitely smell the molasses in this, but
It smells amazing.
yeah. How's the first sip?
You can taste the sweetness, and it almost feels like it's holding back the bite. You know that the classic rum bite. It just you can tell it's there, but it's dulled.
Well, looking at it in the glass right now, before I sip it, it's dark. It's like Coca-Cola.
It just looks like a glass of Coke.
Yeah, which actually could be good in the future. Just remember, when you want to make it look like you're just drinking cola, go with the blackstrap. Okay, so here goes my sip. Yeah, it's got that bite, but whoa, is the molasses flavor strong?
It's really strong. And like I said, the bite is there, but it's hidden. You know, it's not as bad as other rums where you take a swig of it and the first thing you think of is, where's the Coke? I gotta drown this out.
Yeah, when I say that it's strong, it's not a bad kind of strong. It's good. It's not one I would normally call a sipper by itself.
No, but this would be really good. I see you have Coke over there, but I mean, this would be really good in a cocktail.
Yeah. I could see that. Something that needs that flavor. I'm going to put a little bit of Coke, just a splash. So I'm about 2/3 rum to 1/3 Coke on this one. See that flattens it out a lot, or mellows it out a lot. It
about equal proportions to you.
I think it makes a good Coke, rum and Coke.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah,
that's really good. I think the sweetness from the rum is definitely balanced out nicely by the Coke. So it's not overpoweringly sweet. You completely eliminate all sense of that bite.
Yeah, I think if you made this with Pepsi, it would be too sweet.
I think you could make this with a root beer float, and it would be delicious.
Yeah, maybe. I have a root beer. We could try that. Maybe after the next break, we could.
I'm even just saying, make it with root beer and ice cream, the whole nine, or a full-on root beer float with this.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I believe that.
You just really don't want to add ice cream to it.
No, I don't think cream anything in this would go well, but I might be wrong. I have been wrong before.
Especially when it comes to creative rum solutions with root beer.
Oh, I was right on that one. You're talking about the butterbeer?
Yeah.
With Black Anchor? Though that was not a mistake.
No, it wasn't a mistake, but I thought I was the proponent of the doing it with root beer, and you're like, I don't know.
I don't know. We'll have to go back and check our records.
Yeah, we may or may not have that recorded somewhere.
Yeah. Maybe. Who knows? We don't talk about that. It's forbidden. Speaking of forbidden, so, God, we've got a lot to talk about just in the nerddom. So there's so much going on.
Mandalorian season finale?
Yeah, we're going to have to talk about that. Not yet. Let's figure some stuff out, and we'll get into that.
Sure.
How many are left in the Michael Burnham show?
The Michael Burnham show. I think last episode is Thursday. This coming Thursday.
Yeah.
So we're recording on a Tuesday, and God willing, this will.
So that's a New Year's Eve release.
It's a New Year's Eve release. They also did a Christmas Eve release.
Yeah, I guess that's true. What do you figure
and
out?
And a Thanksgiving release. Like they've hit every major holiday.
So.
Usually shows
you
are we're going to take a week's break, during vacation. We'll come back after the holiday, and these people are like, fuck it, we're doing it on Thursdays.
Yeah. Well, it's like you know, it's like Thursdays, but it works out because you can wake up at 5:00 and you can watch it right after you watch The Mandalorian.
That was only for the Ahsoka Tano episode.
Ahsoka Tano.
I did not want anyone to ruin that for me. So I kind of tossed and turned all night, rolled over, looked at the alarm clock. I'm like, it's 5 a.m. Fuck it. I'm going to go downstairs and watch it.
Yeah. Well, that season finale, we got a lot to talk about, a lot to discuss on that. But the Star Trek Discovery, we can talk about later or not or whatever else. But speaking of New Year's Eve, you got anything planned?
I think I'm just setting fire to some shit in the backyard.
Yeah, we're kind of debating it because I've got the kids. My son wants his girlfriend to come over, and I'll be honest, it's for me. I don't like to go out on New Year's Eve because it's amateur night, and all the drinking and driving and the stupid and the cops out pulling people over. Do I really want my kid to be driving his girlfriend home at 12:30 on New Year's Eve, New Year's morning?
No.
So,
Counterpoint, do you want her spending the night?
no. Sandy actually brought that up. Says maybe like if we talk to Erin, maybe you can figure out if we like she sleeps on a different floor on the couch. I'm like, no. I was a teenage boy. This is not happening. No. It's.
What if we chained him up in the trunk of your car in the driveway and?
Yeah, no. It's like if we made her sleep in the master bedroom with Sandy and I slept in the room with Riley, still no. If we put like one of those Mission Impossible laser grids down his hallway, no. Because I don't trust teenage boys. And he's my son. I don't trust him.
That's how that works.
Sorry, not sorry. But anyway, yeah, we'll probably just hang out here, drink the last of the eggnog.
Ooh, which we should bring up in the full-on eggnog segment.
Yes.
Segment nog.
We will have to bring up a segment of nog. We'll see what happens. I don't know.
Not the DS9 nog, but the egg kind.
You know that kid died,
I did.
and he was way older than he looked on the show.
Well, to be fair, he was behind a plastic head on the show.
Yeah. He started out really annoying and ended up the series as one of my more favorite characters.
I need to get through the series still.
Yeah, it gets a lot better.
That's what I hear.
Once Cisco shaves his head, it's on.
Yeah, I buy off on the bald Cisco theory, but
Yeah. Just do it. Just commit and get it done. Oh, golly. Stretch. This rum is making me tired.
these pretzels are making me thirsty.
Are you drinking? You're not eating pretzels.
No.
I have
It was a Woody Allen movie reference.
Oh, okay. Well, fantastic. So what do you think? Hit a quick break and come back, and then we'll talk about Mandalorian?
Like it.
Fantastic. So let's go do that, and then we will be back.
J.K. did not write a masterpiece. J.K. wrote Star Wars with sucky lightsabers. And if you don't believe me, just take a look at the evidence, all right? What do we have here? Oh, it's a young, male, orphaned protagonist who, for his own safety, had been sent to live with his aunt and uncle until a mysterious bearded stranger, who was actually the one to deliver him to his aunt and uncle when he was a baby, comes into his life, starts to teach him about this ancient kind of magic. Granny's gonna learn a lot more about this magic from an older, wiser wizard who's high most of the time. Regardless, his uncle's totally against this magic stuff, won't even tell him what really happened to his parents. But against his uncle's wishes, he leaves home for the very first time, makes new friends, meets a pretty young, impetuous girl, and while there will be an odd sexual tension between the two of them, he will only ever love her like a sister while she struggles with the feelings that she has for his best friend, the scruffy comic relief.
Okay, so here we go. The good stuff. Mandalorian season finale. So we'd already gone over a couple things that happened this season. Ahsoka. I don't know if we mentioned Bo-Katan. So, we've probably already done a little bit of spoiler alert, but should we put everybody on notice?
Oh, I think we should be for the final.
Okay, so this is big news. So I think that we need to warn you about upcoming.
Well, to be fair, this is big news if you've been living under a rock for the past several weeks.
Oh, yeah. At this point, we don't feel bad talking about it. We've given you an opportunity, every opportunity. It's freaking the holidays. Everybody's taking time off to be with your friends and family and with your Disney Plus app. So at this point,
it's probably fair But
Yeah.
still, we have to do it anyway.
Okay.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Okay, so when the X-wing was flying in, we all knew,
Oh, we knew.
you know, and you and I have talked about this. There was a part of me was like, no, it couldn't be. It couldn't be because that's too badass. And I was thinking it was just kind of they were trying to mislead, but it was going to be,
No.
you know, Ezra. Because I had read some stuff that there was some expectation.
No.
I know that's going to be a part of a whole other thing.
Yeah. Remember, Ezra's still lost at the place with the guys in the thing. I think that's the way Rebels ended.
Yeah.
But in the
No,
timeline,
Rebels ended. Ahsoka going to look for him.
Yeah, which is
And she's back, so in theory, he could be around.
Yeah, well, I think she's back, but I think she's in the process of looking for him. Remember, she was asking about Thrawn in her episode.
Mhm.
But I digress. The X-wing, as soon as what's her face said, "Hey, one X-wing or something really
single X-wing, yeah.
a single X-wing," I'm like, "Oh,
So
that's Luke,
yes,
guaranteed."
the next thing though is when because they didn't show his face to the last minute. The next thing was, he's swinging his lightsaber and it shows his right hand in a black glove, and you can see his left hand is not wearing a glove.
Okay,
and that for me was like, that's it.
Okay, it's also currently the only green lightsaber in the galaxy. So there's that. And if you looked at the hilt, it kind of had the gold rings on it. You could see it.
Yeah, yes.
Who
From
else-
the beginning,
who
it was we knew.
else, Who else in a black robe with a green lightsaber?
Well, yes, but I'm used to being disappointed.
You're used to being disappointed by not Jon Favreau things.
Well, at the same time, it's just like one of those things. Like, no, they're setting up for a little switcheroo. Not disappointed might be the wrong way to put it. It's just, they're going to do a switch. It's going to be blah blah blah. They just want you to think it's going to be, and that was him.
No, we knew we were getting Ahsoka this season, but then they threw in Bo-Katan, they throw in Luke. It
Yeah.
was just a dynamite season.
So I was watching it on
Disney Plus.
Yeah,
TV.
I'm trying to remember the day that I was watching. I know
Oh.
my daughter Layla was at the table eating lunch or something like that, and I'm over there watching it. And I go and I stand like first I sit to the end of my seat, and she's like, "Dad, are you okay?" Yeah, something big's about to happen. She's like, "Okay," and I'm like, getting a little closer to the edge of my seat, a little closer, and she's like, "What's going on?" It's just something culturally important to just do it. And then I'm standing up, and she's, "Oh my God, Dad, it's a show. What's going on?" I'm like, "Nothing." That like my voice changed octave. I was going through puberty again. It was just like, "Oh my God." And then it happened.
And again, and that's one of the things that was missing from all of the Star Wars movies. The sequel the last trilogy. It just none of them had that moment. There was the opportunity to have that moment, and none of them brought it. There's not one point where you were edge of your seat in the theater, like, damn.
When
Maybe
she walked
when
up to Luke.
when Chewie got his medal, that was one of them.
Yeah.
At the end of the third one.
Yeah.
But there was no other moment where you were, the Luke reveal moment, the Ahsoka reveal moment.
The Luke reveal moment at the end of Force Awakens. I think that was like, she goes, she lands on the planet, she walks up, and then she hands him the lightsaber. That was like, oh my God. I think so. But certainly in this case, and it was funny because, I was talking to my sister and she's texting me and says, okay, so you've seen it. Yes. And we're talking, and she's like, so she's like, is this like a clone of Luke? I'm like, no, it's Luke.
Yeah, this is only 6 years after Jedi.
Yeah, and
a lot of people.
Well, she didn't realize. She thought it was after the final movie.
No. Yeah, no. So many people don't understand where all of these interstitial stories are fitting into the universe.
And for the listeners, if you have not, it's like, yes, they're cartoons. Get the fuck over yourself. Go and watch Clone Wars and Rebels.
Clone Wars, and I've said it before, Clone Wars is the best piece of Star Wars media ever produced. The prequels, episodes 1, 2, and 3, exist only to support that television series because it was so well done.
It was really, really well done. It's the first one that you really start to look at Anakin as more than this just kind of spoiled, whiny brat kid thing.
Mm-hmm.
You really start to see why everybody looked up to him because he really became such a strong leader during that point. And
but also, kind of along those lines, it gives me hope for the sequel trilogy, because when the prequels came out, everyone hated them, and they were so they didn't hate them, but they nitpick the crap out of them.
There were a lot of big fans that felt let down by those.
Yeah, but
and I say, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, but admittedly, there were holes in those movies because how much content exists between episodes 2 and 3. There's a ton of content in there. There's a ton of content between 1 and 2. Well, the same with the sequel trilogy. It's almost like they're doing the same thing where they put up these big milestone moments, and now there's so much backstory, like Mandalorian setting up all this stuff with Snoke in the First Order.
Yeah,
there's a lot of story to be told there. We know where the milestone moments are. We know what we have to get to, and now they get to fill us in with the details building to it.
Well, I definitely feel that the time period that they are in right now, with Mandalorian and with what they are proposing they're going to do with the Book of Boba Fett and with Ahsoka, is really be filling in the greatest blank in canon right now. I think is between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens.
Yeah, because they had Resistance. What was the last cartoon that
Resistance?
Resistance. Yeah. So I mean that was before episode 7, so that was closer to 7. And then they had Rebels, which was kind of through Jedi, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really, we have fairly complete media before 7. At least on the Rebel side of the fence. Something the Mandalorian was able to do was show us more of the Empire side of the fence.
Sure. Yeah. And take the conversation away from just Force users.
Yeah. That's the one thing that was awesome about Rogue One, I think, started it, where they said, hey, we can create a Star Wars movie that doesn't involve the Force at all.
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly part of the conversation, it happens, but it's not the plot line.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a fact of that universe.
Well, yeah, and you get to see the universe the way the characters in the universe see it. Is Jedi are these mythical things, or post Order 66, they're not even around.
Yeah.
But it's just these magic space wizards that nobody knows, and nobody knows about the Force, and nobody can do all that stuff, and it's just laser blasters and spaceships.
Yeah. So back to Mandalorian, the final episode there. The you see, oh God, what's his name? The bad guy.
Moff Gideon?
Moff, yeah, Gideon. So when he realizes who's there, and you see the terror on his face, the fact that he wants to shoot himself in the head, what does that make you think? Like he's so brazen and he's not scared of anybody, but all of a sudden, here's Luke Skywalker.
I don't know if it was as much that as it was he didn't want to be captured and interrogated, by the New Republic.
He was Bo-Katan, all that. He was smug, didn't care. He was like, yeah. The second Luke Skywalker. Now, keep in mind, Gideon represents the very early stages of the New Order.
First Order.
First Order, yeah. So he's whatever.
He's not an 80s band.
So he's that first remnant of what's going to become the First Order, and for them, their fractured empire all comes down to conversations of, here's Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker was responsible for the destruction of the first 2 Death Stars.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that, for all anybody knows, defeated Darth Vader and the Emperor.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that single-handedly, in regards to Jedi, caused the downfall of all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, I think that look on his, what I saw was not oh yeah, they're going to try and interrogate me, but I can withstand them. They'll whatever. But the second that there was the possibility of being captured by a Jedi, and more specifically, the most famous Jedi in modern era.
To be fair, it's the only Jedi as far as anyone knows.
Correct. But specifically the one with so much notoriety.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, like, go back and rewatch just that part of the scene and look at his face when he realizes it's Luke Skywalker. And he is terrified. So that's kind of interesting. The other thing, and I know that there's lots and lots of debates on what happens next for the Mandalorian and Grogu's relationship. There's a lot of speculation of saying, okay, now Luke now leaves from here with this, the child, Baby Yoda, Grogu, and and shortly hereafter goes and starts this new Jedi temple.
Mm-hmm.
At this point in history, Ben Solo's 4?
Could be. We don't know Ben Solo's exact birthday, but he's a little kid right now.
Yeah.
And Luke could already have the temple going, for all we know.
But the point being is that Grogu goes with Luke to study, and that school gets destroyed and everybody gets killed, as the story has been told in the final trilogy, with the exception of a few who left to join the Knights of Ren. So when you look at that, there was no Baby Yoda in the Knights of Ren. That wasn't a thing. So in theory, did Ben Solo kill Grogu? Was he already away from the academy by the time that those events happened?
He could have flunked out. You don't know.
Well, that's my point, is that, there's a lot of speculation. That's what everyone says. Like,
But here's the thing. Ignore the speculation. Enjoy the story as it's presented to you.
Oh, stop it.
Don't get wrapped up in
naive
hypotheticals. Here's one for you that left me a little disappointed. Mando didn't give Grogu the shift knob when he said goodbye.
I was bothered by that too.
Yeah, so I feel like there's more shift knob story left to be told.
And he did pick it up from the explosion.
He picked up from the explosion. I'm like, when he gets Grogu back, he's gonna hand him the shift knob, and they're gonna have a moment. And then they completely overlooked the shift knob in the final scene.
Yep. No, episode 3 is just about him trying to find Grogu to give him the shift knob.
They were gonna have that American Graffiti moment where he hands him the shift knob, and they drive off into the sunset to a Beach Boys tune. Like 3 people understand what I just said, but they really enjoyed it.
Well, I was one of them. That was a really good movie, by the way.
Another George Lucas movie.
Mm-hmm.
THX 138.
Well, that was technically his first one.
No, THX 138 is the license plate number on the Yellow Deuce Coupe.
Yeah,
with the shift knob.
My point is that that was from his first movie, which was
1138. Yeah,
yeah, which was a extension of a college film,
which was his telephone number.
Yeah. Oh, I can go nerdy.
Yeah, that's That's commonplace nerd though. Everybody knows what 1138 is.
Yeah. There you go. So there was some other stuff I was going to get into, but I wanted to go back to your comment about don't get mired down in a speculation. That's what we Star Wars fans do.
Yeah, but that's one of the reasons why, that's where the toxic fandom starts.
Yeah, that's where it lives. I don't think it's where it starts. I don't. I think
people write their own narrative. People get into online echo chambers and they start talking about stuff, and then when their predictions don't come true, it starts adding to the disappointment of what they saw.
I think it's different than that. It's 100% different than that, man. Okay, so look at it from this perspective. Myself, my 5-year-old self, watching Star Wars for the first time, and it's magical, and this amazing mythology and magic that is the Force, and these laser swords, and saving the princess, and blah blah blah, and it's all really not that great a movie. Like, really, when you go back and watch the first one, it's not that great a movie. It was saved by an edit by Lucas's first wife, and
who did an amazing job.
She did, and she absolutely saved it. And those are all really, really great things. But that movie today doesn't necessarily stand up to today, and that's okay because it's not made today. The movies are an extension of that feeling. So my belief is it's a failure back to society, where society is looking at this and thinking on today's terms. They've got this nostalgic warmth of what happened when they were an innocent youth, and now we've grown up with all the anger and frustration in the world. And again, not to go too much down that rabbit hole, but in my opinion, they watch it and they're like, well, yeah, but now it's Kathleen Kennedy's her feminist agenda to make more female characters, and they want to make the male characters and this. It's like, no, it's, you want these new movies to have this magic of this innocence that you don't have anymore. Now you have your prejudices. You've got your beliefs in how society ought to run. And, my point is that I can enjoy them. I can speculate and I can enjoy them because for me, I get enjoyment out of them, but I get enjoyment out of the movies. I didn't think that the final trilogy was terrible. I went in, I had fun because I expected them to be campy and silly and cheesy and all of those things. And, I didn't put social expectations because that world isn't Earth. Mm-hmm. And they can have any race or gender or sexual orientation of a hero anywhere in that lexicon, and it's okay and it's acceptable and it's fine. I think that problem that happened is the toxic masculinity and people kind of projecting like, oh, but it should have been this, and Luke should have been a stronger character and he should have come back. There's what? At the end of the day, you're mad that the story you envisioned didn't get made. I'm not so arrogant to think that they should have made my version of the story, but I certainly love to try and read between the lines and think, what do I see coming? I get a lot of enjoyment from that, but I have the ability to be okay with being wrong. And maybe I'm wrong about all of that. I don't know. But I can tell you, I wholeheartedly believe the worst thing that's ever happened to Star Wars is the fans. So I agree with you on that.
Yeah, we have had that conversation before. And my only complaint about the new trilogy is there was no stand up, off the couch, scream at the TV moment like there was when Luke showed up in The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And there is so much history and material in this universe that a moment like that could have, you could have brought that to the table, and they didn't.
Yeah, this is true. Well, we'll see what happens now that you've got the likes of Jon Favreau and Oh,
Give him all the movies.
yeah. And what's the other guy that's doing all this stuff that did the? Oh my God, blacked out. That did the guy that created or did a lot of the Clone War stuff.
Filoni?
Yeah, that's it. Those two, just let them be in charge for everything for now.
Because he did a bulk of the Clone Wars. I think he was the showrunner for that.
Yeah.
So,
But they,
which arguably is the best piece of Star Wars media ever made.
well, that's my point. You know, between the two of them, their thought process, their dedication to the canon and to the story and story development and
admittedly, it's not Star Trek. You know, the Star Wars concept doesn't lend itself to big picture, commentary on society. It just, Star Trek does that amazingly. That's what made it.
that's what Roddenberry wanted it to be.
Yeah. Star Wars is a really great little episodic chunk of just, hey, here's a story. We have a mission to go into this base and steal this thing. Boom, there's an episode. And it just that suits it. A much simpler story. You try to make it complicated, it gets all weird.
Yep. Well, with all that said, and I'll just wrap it up with this. Star Trek Discovery is the best Star Trek since Next Generation. Maybe the best Star Trek ever.
I don't know. I'm a big TNG fan, but from a production standpoint, 100%. Everything about it is fantastic. Yeah,
I think
it's
the acting is as good or better. I
Yep.
mean, TNG. I look at my wall. I'm definitely there with you, but it's the first time that Star Trek has been awesome in a long time.
Yeah. Apart from the J.J. Abrams Calvin universe movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'll give you that.
Okay. On that note, let's take another quick break, and we come back. Let's maybe do a little wrap up.
Okay.
Cool. Be right back.
When the sun comes up on a sleepy little town down around San Antonio, and the folks are rising for another day, round about their home. The people of the town are strange, and they're proud of where they came. Where you talking about the time I grow? Johnny Roll. Well, the pizza and the teacher, no, they are
I want to talk about football.
That's pretty good because we're two of only teams in the league that can talk about football beyond the next week.
Yeah. No, it's you and I definitely. It's funny. A year ago, and to clarify to everybody, I grew up in Kansas City, so clearly I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan.
Born and raised in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. A huge Green Bay Packer fan.
So this is in our heritage.
And just to be clear too, I'm neither of us live in our origin states, but I'm a huge proponent of fans sticking with their teams.
Yeah.
You're born with your team. You will live with your team. You will die with your team.
Yeah. There's no. Well, I kind of like Tampa because I live in Central Florida.
No. And
Screw those guys.
And that was actually the bullshit with that NFL commercial that came out a couple years ago, where they're like, so and so was a Bills fan, and then she married a Jets fan, and then they had kids that became like. That's not how it works at all. You are born as your thing, and you will stay that thing forever.
Yeah. No.
in the world of sports fandom.
Specifically, I think. Well, you know what? Yeah, baseball too. Baseball's like that. Although I don't even think baseball's a real sport. Controversial, I know, but whatever. You could professionally play baseball at 60. So
Hey,
whatever. It's a hobby. It's a pastime.
Any sport you can play while smoking is
very, very nice. Anyway, so back to the point. So we were joking around last year with Kansas City doing so on. Says, man, it would be awesome if our teams played each other in the Super Bowl. And right now, that's a real possibility.
It is a real possibility. And what's even funnier than that, even if our teams for some unknown reason, don't make it together in the Super Bowl. Our quarterbacks are both up for MVP.
Yeah. Well, and realistically,
that's a fight that's happening.
Realistically, whoever which one wins the Super Bowl is going to get it. It's
probably.
So it's going to come down to that. But as of the recording of this show, the Kansas City Chiefs are 14-1. We're probably going to end the season 16-1 without a problem. We're playing Los Angeles this weekend. You guys are 13-2.
No, I think we're 12-3.
Okay.
We're going to the last game of the year. We're playing the Bears in Chicago.
Ooh, that's a
longest rivalry in the NFL, over 100 years.
How the Bears doing this year?
Not great.
So you guys feel comfortable going in?
Well, the problem is that it's the Bears. The running joke is the Bears will if the Bears are only going to prep for one game every year, it's going to be Green Bay.
Yeah,
and that's the only one that matters. Don't care about the division. Don't care about going all the way. It's like, nope, just got to beat the Packers. That's it.
So with the Chiefs, like the last 7 games, we've talked about it at halftime and the post game show this last weekend. The last 7 games, the Chiefs have won the game within a touchdown. They have not blown out anybody. And the announcers were like, they were saying, watching the games, it's almost like they're bored. And so they're not trying real hard until it's like, oh, I guess we got to win this. And then they pull out the win. But it's crazy because their stats are through the roof, game after game after game. Their tight end, Travis Kelce, is very likely going to end the season with the highest reception yards of any player in the NFL. Not wide receiver, a tight end.
That's an impressive stat.
Yeah, he's just broken the record for the most consistent 3,000 yard seasons, and had his 100th reception for the 6th season in a row or something like Kelsey's blowing up the stats because he's Mahomes' guy.
Well, here's one. Rodgers is looking to set another record. Fewest interceptions in NFL history for a quarterback with 40-plus touchdowns for the season. Currently on that list, in first place is Aaron Rodgers, or is currently in first place, 5 in 2020. Second place is Aaron Rodgers, 6, 2011. And in third place is Aaron Rodgers at 7, 2016.
Wow. So he did good. Now, Mahomes was doing great until two or 3 games ago. Because he had 2 all season.
Mahomes is exciting. He's talented. He's going to be going to amazing places. He reminds me a lot of Favre. He forces Brett Favre is just known for forcing the issue, and it's just like, he's an absolutely amazing quarterback, but there's some times where he was either going to look like a magician or you were going to be throwing stuff at your TV. That was the only 2 way his plays went.
Well, and it was funny the other day, this last weekend, he had a 27-yard run.
Oh, it was a great run. I was watching that game.
Yeah, it's like, so he does some great things. The Chiefs definitely need to they need to get over this complacency. They really need to wake up and be ready.
Well, and can they lose the number 1?
No,
seed in the
they have locked number 1. They have locked home field advantage. They've like all the way through. They will play. I forgot if this weekend against. Actually, I think it is at home because I think the season opener was in Los Angeles against them. But I'm pretty confident that they are at home. So I think that they will play every game up until the Super Bowl.
That's the one thing the Packers are really playing for is home field advantage. They said Rodgers has played in 4 NFC Championship games. None of them have been at home. And admittedly, when there's fans in the stands, that can be painful. thankfully, not thankfully, this year there's been a few stadiums we've gone into where it's like, oh, hey, there's no fans here. This is convenient.
So,
Superdome.
With the Super Bowl being in Tampa and us being so close, I'll be honest, the other day I started doing research on how quickly I could get the COVID vaccine. So
Get vaccinated and tickets.
Yeah. So Sandy and I had the conversation, like, we were able to go by just a sheer miracle. We went last year, getting 2 free tickets.
It's tricky to bullshit your way into a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I've done it. I've done it twice. One was in 2010 when the Packers last won it.
Yeah.
So it's fun to do.
Well, we definitely would want to go again, but with that the stands are not going to be packed like they normally are.
No.
They're going to do a reduced capacity. I wouldn't be surprised if they start doing something like hey, you have to get vaccinated to be able to go, or something.
Yeah.
So I know for me it's like, yeah, if I can figure out how to do that ahead of time just in case. But yeah, it's going to be exciting. Regardless, if our 2 teams go and neither of us are able to figure out a way to get into the stadium, barring COVID, anything else, and being safe, absolutely, our families have to get together and watch the Super Bowl together.
Oh, it's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome when half of the people at the party are going to go away really mad.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. They're talking about adding a 17th game next year.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why, but
money.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a good chance of that.
They do it in Formula One all the time.
So
hey, we need to add another race because people want to give us more money.
Yeah, why play 16 games when you can play 17 and make more money?
Baseballs too.
Yeah. The Kansas City Chiefs, the flamethrower. Because I'd buy it. I would buy it. On that note, I think we should wrap it up. We'll start off by thanking the glitter to our Christmas ornament, David Martin.
DemoDavePro.com.
Also point you to our website once we build it. Hopefully by the time you listen to this, it's there. And that is rumandnerdy.com. That's with an A-N-D.
And same with Facebook. Check us out there. We are at Rum A&D Nerdy. And I'd like to give a special shout out to our Comedian of the Week, Aaron Woodall. Look him up at Aaron Woodall 14 on Twitter.
The hope is in the weeks to come that we kind of round out the ensemble, have a couple other folks on as well. But until then, so long and thanks for all the fish.
Let me take you on a trip around the world and back, and you won't have to move, you just sit still. Now let your mind do the walking, and let my body do the talking. Let me show you the world with my eyes.
Something else?
Wait, she's just about to summon Garcool.
She's been talking about summoning Garcool for 3 episodes, Summer. Wait a minute, what's that in your mouth?
It's a toothpick. I'm a toothpicker now. Get used to it.
God, are you that desperate for a thing?
It is my thing. Just like yours is dying alone and yours is jerking off.
At least jerking off tracks for my character, you know? I like to jerk off. I'm 14. I own it.
Well, I jerk off too.
Jesus Christ,
Right,
I don't want to think about
Summer,
that. Keep your toothpick. Morty, stop talking to your sister about jerking off. Everyone pretend podcasting isn't boring.